If you're jumping into the world of live streaming, you're probably learning that it can be a little intimidating to go live on air, and it really helps to build up your confidence so that you can have an easier time while you're delivering your content on your live streams. In our last video, we talked all about 5 tips that can help you gain that confidence so you don't have to feel like you're struggling or worry about these little things on your personal level while you're live streaming and can solely focus on delivering content to your people. But I also have another tip for you that's really going to help, especially if you've spent a little bit of time doing your live streaming. And that is to create an intro and a wrap-up for yourself. Now, the logic here is that when you know what you're saying, to walk into a conversation and to walk out of that conversation, you only have to then think about your content. When you've got a planned introduction and a planned wrap-up, you do not have to stress over that. You go on autopilot. So as soon as you hit that go live button, you can be thinking about what you're going to be saying to talk about your content, your topic for the day, and as soon as it goes live, you can say your introduction, which always, once you've trained yourself, gets you into the correct mindset for this. So have a way that you introduce yourself every single time. You're going to have things to say. And for me, this is a pro tip. I always start with a sentence related to my topic. So it's not the exact same for every intro, but I'll introduce the topic and then launch into my intro. It is a couple sentence thing where I introduce what we're going to be talking about and who I am, why it's valuable to them. I remind them that they can leave comments and interact with me and that we go live at a certain time, all those things. And I do this in my wrap-up as well. My intros and my wrap-ups for my different shows are different and are unique, so it's not the same thing for all the different productions that I do, but when I have those to rely on, I don't have to think about it. I can just go on autopilot. So here's what you need to do. Before you do any more live streams, I want you to sit down and think of the key points. Now remember, with your intro, you need to keep it very short and you need to keep it meaningful to people. You do not want this to be, I am this person and I've done this, 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 and this, because that's not relevant to them. That is something you're actually going to leave for your agenda notes. You're going to put your name and your title and your status and all the cool things you've done in the notes so that it's overlaid on the screen. They can see who you are, but you're not wasting their time by saying, I've been on this platform and on this news outlet and all of these things, because that's not relevant. They're going to skip over that if they're watching the replay, and if you're wasting their time on a live stream that they've just hopped onto, they're going to hop off. So save that. You don't need that. You can talk about that later if you need to. Right in the middle of your conversation, you can remind everyone who you are if you need to after you've delivered really good content. So your intro needs to be something helpful. So you want to say something like, we are here live and I want to be able to answer your questions. So at any time during today's conversation, make sure you're dropping your questions or your comments into the chat box and we'll answer them while we're live on air. So it doesn't have to be anything big or major. It just can be a phrase or a keyword or a couple of sentences that tells them to take action or reminds them why that they are there and how you're going to benefit from them. So you can say, as we are creating a way to be more profitable inside of your smart social media marketing, is something I say a lot. And it's just those keywords to say, oh, okay, I understand what I'm going to be learning in today's live stream. So I always start off with a changeable first sentence about the topic, and then I launch into something that tells them why it's going to be beneficial to them and reminds them that they can and should take action during the live stream. And then I'll launch into the conversation. Now at the end, I always make sure, and you can too, that I remind them that they are going to be joining me every single week at this time, at this location. So every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. we go live here on the YouTube page, y'all. And you can subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on our upcoming live streams. And then I'll wrap it up by saying what we're going to be doing next week or what's coming up soon. Or I will reiterate something and I'll remind them to take action. I'll send them to do something. So it can be that subscribe and notification bell. It can be go join the newsletter. It could be make sure you go over to the website and take the free course. Whatever it happens to be, you're giving them an action step. Now that they've learned with you, now that they've been with you for a little bit, they need to go and do this to then enhance that conversation with you. So have an intro, have a wrap up, and always make sure it's the same thing or relatively the same thing. I don't necessarily say it word for word the exact same way every time, but I know exactly what I'm going to be saying sentiment-wise to get my point across. So when I am jumping in, I am training myself, training my body, training my mind to get into the live stream energy that I need, the high energy, fast-paced talk that I do when I'm on my live streams, and I'm getting myself and them ready for the conversation. When I'm wrapping up, I give those action steps, the things for them to do. I remind them when to join me next, and I am then closing down what I'm doing. It's like a theme song introduction in a TV show. You know what's coming because it has that intro theme song. you know you're getting in that mindset for those characters and those storylines. And if you had something else in there, it wouldn't get you prepared. It would throw you a little bit. So have that intro, have that wrap up, know what you're more or less going to see, you're relatively going to say with this, and then do it every single time. It's a great way to not have to think about it, to not have to worry about getting that strong intro, because it's going to be the same every time, and to not worry about having that really strong walk away point so that they are taking action once they leave you. Learn these, get these down to a science, refine them if you need to, and these will change a little bit over time as you find what works best for you and for your audience. So don't be afraid to change it. Once you've created your intros and your wrap-ups, they will change over time. They will evolve as you and your show evolve. So it's okay to try new things, and sometimes you'll stumble over it, that'll be okay. But you want to make sure you've got something to fall back on. So every single time you walk into a live stream, same intro to get people ready in the right mindset and you ready in the right mindset. And then a good wrap-up that gives them that action step so that they know this is wrapping up, we're ending, and any last questions they need to be sending in, and you know that you are about to leave and wrap things up so that it has a good, strong conclusion. Because if you have a really strong message and then flounder on your conclusion, that's going to be a problem. So make sure you've got that intro and wrap up, and that is a great way to be confident on your live stream, because even if everything else goes wrong, even if your tech fails or you stumble over words or whatever it is, you know that you had a strong hook and you had a strong wrap. And that is going to help tremendously with your mindset and with your emotional well-being as you are continuing to do your live streams. If you've got questions on creating your intro or your wrap or anything that has to do with live streaming, hit the subscribe and notification bell and leave your questions down below. We're continuing our conversation as we're getting ready to launch Livestream Action Plan, where I am giving you a full year of done with you live streams, so you never have to worry about the topics you're going to be talking on because they're done with you. You just fill in some blanks and you do the live stream. And if you want extra help, there's a totally free course on livestreamactionplan.com that talks about lighting and technology, the different streaming platforms, and it helps you to figure out what's going to work best for you and how you can really effectively do live streaming in your business to grow your following, to create that trust, and to create more clients in your business. Totally free course over there, and the year-long Livestream Action Plans are opening up in just a couple of days. I'm so excited for it, so make sure you head over to livestreamactionplan.com for resources, tools, the free course, and the full year of Livestream Action Plans. I'll see you there.